Okay, I am making a pumpkin cheesecake and I'm using a ginger snap crust. What I've got in my food processor is about 3/4 of a box of ginger snaps that I crumbled and then processed here. And I've added 4 tablespoons of sugar. And what I'm going to wind up with is about a cup and a half to 2 cups of ginger snap crumbs. My ginger snaps were kind of lousy, so I added just a touch of ginger. What I've got is 4 tablespoons of melted butter that I'm going to mix in. We'll let this mix up. What you want is the consistency pretty much of wet sand. Not quite wet, but it's hard to see it here. But that's good. So I've got my oven preheating to 325. You just want to kind of spread this out. I did just butter the bottom of the pan a little bit. There's butter in the crust, so you really don't need to, but just kind of spread it out as evenly as you can, and then we're going to press it down all the way around. And we're going to bake this in a 325 degree oven for 10 minutes. And while that's baking, and then it will cool for just a few minutes while I'm making the cheesecake itself. And the cheesecake is my basic cheesecake recipe. I'm just going to add some pumpkin to it. There, that's good. So the oven's preheated and we'll go in for 10 minutes. You can also bake that in a regular 10-inch springform pan. Okay, after 10 minutes, it's just lightly starting to brown. And just set it aside while you finish making the filling. I've got 5 packages of softened cream cheese that I'm just going to beat up a little bit. You just want to get it swirled a little bit, get it so it's starting to whip up. And we'll start adding our ingredients. We're going to add a cup of sugar and 3 tablespoons of flour. And then we'll blend that in. And you'll want to scrape your sides down and scrape the bottom and make sure everything's getting in there. And I'm going to add, calls for a cup of sour cream. I don't have sour cream. I'm going to add a cup of yogurt. My homemade Greek yogurt in its place.
Even better.
Yeah, you don't even taste the difference.
Nope.
All tastes the same. Delicious.
A nice alternative.
Yes, it is. My yogurt's been sitting a little bit, so I just need to stir the little bit of whey that was on top back in. And we're going to do a cup of this. If I can get it in the cup and not everywhere like I normally do.
Sign of a good cook. There isn't a mess.
We're gonna beat this in just until mixed, and then we're gonna mix in a cup of pureed pumpkin. Do not use pumpkin pie mix, just pumpkin. And scrape again. Make sure you get the bottom. Also going to add a tablespoon of vanilla at this point. More or less. Probably more.
Homemade.
Homemade vanilla. And that bottle's about empty.
Is the new stuff about ready?
Yeah.
Good.
So this cup of pumpkin is half of a 15-ounce can. You can put the rest of it in a baggie and throw it in the freezer. Comes in handy for other things. Pumpkin pancakes, pumpkin muffins, pumpkin bread. Most recipes call for a cup, so we'll beat that stuff. And scrape it again. Be sure to scrape your beaters a bit. We're going to add 4 eggs, one at a time. And at this point, you don't want to whip any air into this. You want to just beat the eggs until they're mixed in. If you get too much air into there, your cheesecake makes it rise way up, and then it collapses when you take it out of the oven, and it'll add to its cracking. Yep, farm fresh. Mix in here. And we'll just finish mixing it in. I'll give it another scrape down here, and it's about ready to go in the pan, just about. And I almost forgot to add my pumpkin pie spices. We're going to add about 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, about 1/2 teaspoon of ginger, more or less. Yeah, that was only 1/4. And just a little bit of nutmeg, not even 1/4 teaspoon. And we'll mix that in by hand because I took the beater out already. Now, instead of the 9x13 pan, you can use a 10-inch springform pan. That's normally what cheesecakes are baked in. I like to use the 9x13s. The 9x13 it'll bake, and I'll check it in 30 minutes. It usually takes around 35. Your springform is going to take anywhere from 50 minutes to an hour and 10 minutes, depending on how thick your cheesecake is. That looks like it's pretty well blended. I'll get my pan. Now the crust does not have to be totally cool. Just kind of dump it in there and spread it out. Even it out as much as you can. As I said, just smooth it out evenly as you can get it, and then it's going to go in the oven. There's a lot of cheesecake there, but I'm going to check it in 30 minutes. And that is still at 325. Okay, we're trying a new dish for supper tonight. It's called Stovetop Pork Dinner. I am browning 2 pork chops. The recipe calls for bone-in pork loin chops. Ours are boneless. And
thick cut.
Thick cut. So we're going to brown them till they're mostly done. And then we're going to add some other ingredients to it. So it'll take a few minutes just for those to cook up. I salt and peppered both sides of them, just for a little extra flavor. So the pork chops are well browned. They're mostly done. In my bowl here I have a can of condensed cream of mushroom soup. The recipe calls for cream of chicken, but I'm going to use cream of mushroom. And we're going to add some more sliced mushrooms. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of garlic powder, more or less.
More.
I've got about a teaspoon of dried onion. I'm going to add probably a 1/2 teaspoon of parsley. And I've got a 1/4 cup of water in there. And I'm going to mix that together. What did we use? 3 or 4 potatoes?
4 small.
I've got 4 small sliced potatoes. that thick. And we've got a couple of sliced mushrooms like that we're going to add to this. Let's stir this in. And I'm going to add some veggies to this. I've added half of a 16-ounce bag of frozen mixed veggies. You can use whatever veggies you want. Then I just mix that together and pour this over the top. I'm going to cover it and reduce it to a simmer and let it simmer until the taters are tender and know if you can see, it's got just a little bit of jiggle in the center, and that is done. You do not want to overbake your cheesecake. That will finish setting up. Set it 20 minutes, and the potatoes aren't quite done, even though they're really not that thickly sliced. They would probably need at least another 10 to 15 minutes, and probably cook it a little longer with the lid off even, because that would thicken up some of the juices. I thought it was too thick and I added a little more water and it really didn't need it. But it tastes good.